How much? How much? How much? What's the price? If this is the question you always get asked by leads, we're going to show you exactly how to answer that question on today's podcast. Stick around to the end of this video. It's only going to be 5 to 10 minutes. Stick around to the end. I'm going to show you exactly how to get a copy of my new book, The No Fluff Guide to Growing Your Beauty Business, that actually has our exact scripts in this. So we'll show you how to get that. But anyways, I'm joined by Tony Cruz. He is our sales trainer and my business partner. He's actually trained thousands and thousands of beauty professionals of how to answer their leads, how to convert more bookings. And so Tony, when a lead asks, how much does it cost? What's the price? What would you tell a beauty business owner? How do you answer that?
Yeah, so I asked this question hundreds of times over for my wife's business, right? Because she's an esthetician, PMU artist. And for so many of artists out there, they get taught, just obey the price, just totally ignore it. That's half right. And what I want to say is give you the exact script I used to close over 60 clients in 90 days for my wife. This is the exact script. And mind you, when I told my wife to let me take everything over back in 2018, she's like, no. I know you know sales, but you don't know this. This isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. And so it was one of those things that, not put my wife down, I love her to death. I understand where she's coming from. But there's simple sales principles you really need to identify when you're talking to any lead, regardless of the industry. You could be selling water on the side of the street, okay? And this is the sales principles you're going to use.
And when you say that you booked 60 clients in 90 days, 3 months for your wife, this was back in 2018 when you first started working with me, and not working with me. You hired me back in 2018, but that's the first time I ever met you. And you were a real estate agent and a sales trainer in real estate, national sales trainer in real estate. I'm just giving people context. And then your wife was a permanent makeup artist. And so when you say 60 clients, you're talking about permanent makeup clients, right?
Yes, for her permanent makeup studio.
Yeah.
So
before you go into how to answer how much, what I find most fascinating about your situation is your wife was a brand new PMU artist. She had zero portfolio. Did she even have any pictures?
She had 3 before and afters.
Yeah, 3 before and afters, no social media presence, none of the other stuff that we even teach, and yet you were still able to book 60 clients. That's amazing.
Because the basic principle is he or she who owns the relationship wins. Business is all about building relationships. That's step number 1. Number 2, it's making sure you have a qualified lead. And I'll be honest with you, this is my biggest struggle with so many artists we work with. They're like, oh, I want qualified leads. I want qualified leads. Guess what? And I'm here to tell you this, okay? There's no such thing as a qualified lead that's going to come in and just book with you right out of the gate without asking the price, without asking anything. All these ads you see on Facebook about, we're going to get you 21 clients guaranteed, or your money back. Guess what they're wanting you to do? Okay, they're wanting you to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on ad spend, pump you up with so many leads, and keep you so busy that you're responding to all these inquiries and you think it's amazing, okay? But guess what happens? A lot of them don't convert. But you're stuck on that train of, well, I have to keep paying them because these are so many inquiries, I can't give that up. That's what they prey on. What I want to do is really give you the tactics you need to convert leads. Jake, were you say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, meanwhile, you could have spent a fraction of that ad spend with someone who actually knows how to run optimized ads like us, and will teach you how to convert the clients. So that way you're spending way less money working with us with bigger results.
Yeah, what's crazy too is I was on one of our competitors' websites, and they were advertising their quote unquote lead, so somebody inquiring, as a booking opportunity. That's how they're selling it. It's a booking opportunity, okay? And then underneath that it said booking opportunity cost as low as $7. What they're saying is their cost per lead is $7. They're just framing it as a booking opportunity.
And what's our, just to put that in perspective, Tony, what's our client's cost per lead?
Our client's average cost per lead is $1 to $2. So you can go to that competitor and pay them $7, or for that same $7, you can get 2 to 3 leads with us. It's, you know, your dollar is going way more with somebody who actually knows. And really quick, you know, one thing I asked you when I first interviewed Jake was, you know, how much do you manage in actual ad spend a month? Like, what do you manage? That's very key when you're looking at a marketing agency. How much money do you manage? And we're going to get to that script here in a second. But Jake, how much money do we manage on average a month in permanent makeup?
In permanent, which we work with all kinds of beauty businesses, med spas, you know, every lash artists, estheticians.
The whole
but
industry.
you know, in our ad spend, we manage about $500,000 to $1 million, depending on the month, in ad spend every single month. And so, why should you care about that? Well, that means we're getting in more data. We have more, you know, facts in front of us, so we can make better decisions. Because guess what? The things that we're working on, Facebook ads and Instagram ads and Google ads, you know, 3 months ago might not be working anymore. And so we're able to quickly pick up those trends and quickly say like, oh, wow, this is working now. This is working now. Let's deploy it for our other clients and make the best bang for their buck for their ad spend. So all of our clients have an advantage because they're getting the top of the line, you know, tactics and like they're basically, we're doing what works for them, while somebody else who's either trying to run their own ads or they hire some other agency, you know, they're basically wasting money.
Yeah, and so another thing, let's get back to how to overcome the price question. Because when I break this down for you, your minds will just go, oh my God, I need to learn more scripts from Jake and Tony. Okay, so when someone comes in and says, how much is it? My first response is always the same thing, regardless of the service, regardless of the industry. And when I say regardless of the industry, these are scripts I use in real estate, okay? But I always say, thank you so much for inquiring. Have you been looking into blank service, microblading, dye sport, Botox, whatever service you're offering? Thank you so much for inquiring. Have you been looking into that service? Now, why do I ask that question? That's my pre-qualifying question, because for so many of you say, oh, this marketer or that marketer didn't give me qualified leads. Well, did you even ask that lead if they've been looking into it? Or are you just basing it on that they asked you how much it is right out of the gate? Because guess what? I guarantee you, you never went to the grocery store, pulled everything off a shelf, and never looked at the price, right? That's, people don't know what to ask except how much is it? So think about that methodology there. Think about, have you ever bought something that's several $100s that you never looked at the price? No, you haven't.
My wife has.
Jake, what was that?
I said, I feel like my wife has.
Maybe. But, you know, it's all about, you know, when you're talking to your audience, they don't know anything else to ask but how much is it? So for those of you who are struggling saying, are my leads really qualified? Ask that one question, because that's what I ask every time. Now, if you ask that question and everybody's saying no, then obviously you don't have a qualified lead and you really should be talking to your marketer. Now, with that, once they say, yes, I've been looking into it, I think we all can agree. Whenever we look into things, we talk to several people. So that means that they have been talking to people and no one's been able to connect with them on the level that they want to be connected with. That's why they're still looking. So my next question is, fantastic, what's held you back from obtaining this service? That one question is going to tell you exactly what has held them back, which 90% of the time it's price, and it's going to tell you how to close them. So after that, when they say price, because that's 90% of the time what they say, I always say, I completely understand price is important to you. However, our services are not a one-size-fits-all. Would you happen to have time for a quick 5-minute phone consultation to really go over the service and how we can help you? Now, at that point, they're going to say, can you just tell me the price? So-and-so told me the price. This is where the magic happens in scripting. Because at that point, my response back to that is, I completely understand, again, that you're very price conscious. However, and I understand that someone else has given you a price. However, that's what makes our company different, is that I really want to make sure we're a good fit, and I really want to make sure I prescribe the right procedure for you. Most artists lead with price, and they just want to get somebody in the door. At our studio, we want to make sure that we identify the right style I always say, you know, what such as ombre, powder, or combo, to really identify which brow you're going to be looking for. That way I can give you an accurate price. Do you happen to have time for 5 minutes? Now, for those of you listening to the podcast, you're going to think that's a very long explanation. But I will tell you, if you could justify to these people that why you cannot give them the price, they will be okay with it, and they'll say yes. Now, at that point, I've asked for the 5-minute phone consult twice. So what typically happens from there? Either they'll say yes, which I would say 70% of our leads did say yes. For the 30 or 40% that didn't, they ghosted me. But then I followed up 3 or 4 other times, and I finally got them on the phone. So again, it's very important, that follow-up game there. But when you're overcoming that how much question, it's very important to empathize with that consumer and then also explain why you can't give it. And that, remember, that's a differentiating factor point for you when it comes to your clients and their leads is, I can't give you a price because I need to identify which procedure is going to be right for you. So Jake, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, there's really 2 keys to being good at, quote, sales, which to me, sales is like a dirty word that everybody's scared of. Like, to me, like, we're all, as business owners, and I would hope you feel the same as a business owner, you know, we're providing a service that helps people. And so your job is not to persuade people to book your service. Your job is to guide them to something that you know will help them and that you know that they already want. And so this is not about tricking people or controlling them. This is about you as a business owner helping guide that person along. And if you just give them price, you're not guiding, you're not being a good guide, because now you're making them focus on the cost, or you're letting them focus on the cost versus the value. Because a lot of times the reason they clicked on your ad, the reason they contacted your business is because they have a desire, they have a need that needs to be met. But the problem is their human survival brain and their negativity bias kind of goes to the, like, well, how much is this going to cost me? Scarcity mindset, etc. And so as a good ethical guide, your job is to kind of redirect them, kind of like children. If they're going to be walking out in the street, no, I'm going to guide them back off the street, and I'm going to make sure what's best for them happens. And so if their mind starts to go towards price and cost, you need to redirect their brain to what value. Make them focus on the value of what you offer, how it's going to benefit them, how it's going to meet the needs, the original needs, the reason they clicked on the ad versus what it's going to cost them.
Absolutely. So
awesome. So hope you guys enjoyed that. That's just one little small piece of sales. And we do weekly coaching with our clients on, how to sell, how to get, how to turn leads into bookings. And so if you do want to be part of those coaching programs, or like we promised, I'm actually going to give you guys a copy of my book, The No Fluff Guide to Growing Your Beauty Business, where we do have in-depth scripts on here. We talk about selling on here. It's a very helpful, no fluff guide. It's about 180 pages long. It's easy to read, but it's very powerful. And so if you want a free copy of this, either comment below, or if you're listening to us on the podcast, send me a message on Instagram at PMUMarketer and just say, hey, I was listening to your podcast and you mentioned a free book. Could you send me a book? And I will hook you up, because I love, one, I'm trying to grow the YouTube channel and the podcast, and I love educating people. And so the fact that you guys are still listening tells me that, you're hungry for education, you're ready to learn and grow. And so you're the type of people I like, because if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, you can see I have tons of books behind me on my bookshelf, because I love to learn too. And so those are the kind of people I want to be around. So thank you, Tony, for, sharing all that stuff. And, that's honestly, that to me, what you shared is more powerful than most of the stuff I've ever seen on YouTube in the beauty industry. Like, I've never seen anybody teach that. So glad we were able to share that. And then, like I said, if you want a free copy of my book, send me a message, comment below, and we'll hook you up. Alrighty. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.